Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Samantha. I'm a professional Vedic sidereal astrologer. So today I want to talk about the Rahu Moon conjunction, or Rahu aspecting the moon by its special aspect, which would be 5 to 9 houses over. So in Vedic astrology, we also have special aspects, and Rahu and Ketu will create this trinal aspect to any planets that go 5 to 9 houses over as well too. So if you have Rahu aspecting the moon by its fifth or ninth aspect, that's essentially like you have a Rahu moon conjunction as well too. So you want to look for that. And when you see that, you're going to find that in your D9 Navamsha, you have Rahu moon conjuncting in that chart. All right, so let's talk about the Rahu moon conjunction because I find it to be such an important energy to understand about yourself in your chart. So I want to preface this by saying I do have the Rahu aspecting my moon, Rahu moon conjunction in my D9, so I can speak from personal experience. And I've talked to a lot of astrologers about this conjunction. I've studied a lot on this conjunction because I find it to be one that is very interesting and very kind of potent and can be difficult to work with at times as well too. So when Rahu comes together with the moon, they say that these people can reach these sort of high mystical states, right? So that Rahuvian energy is the future. So Rahu rules the future, Ketu rules the past. And when we see that energy of the future come together with the moon and the mind and the subconscious, there's a lot of future projections, both real and imagined and illusionary, with that Rahu moon conjunction. All right, so something we always want to understand about Rahu in Vedic astrology is that Rahu is deceptive and illusionary by nature. So you'll find that when people have Rahu with the moon, they can have a lot of deceptive or illusionary thoughts and fears and future projections that, although can be psychic or intuitive, can also a lot of the other times be false or sort of Rahuvian in the sense that they're not necessarily based in reality. So you'll find when you have that Rahu moon conjunction, yes, you can reach high mystical states and you can really get a lot of psychic or intuitive predictions and premonitions, but you have to make sure that those predictions and those insights are truthful and not based in delusion or illusions, right? Because that's the Rahuvian energy in Vedic astrology. It is deceptive, it's illusionary, it's, the energy that's not always based in reality, right? So having Rahu with the moon, it's like your intuition can be so spot on and so future projecting and so future oriented and so interesting and very innovative and interesting ahead of the times when it's at its sort of best, highest manifestation of that planetary energy. But when Rahu moon is in its sort of, let's say, lower state of its energy, it can be fear-based, it can be deceptive, it can be illusionary, there can be thoughts and whims that are these future projections that aren't actually based in truth or reality. So it can create a lot of fears and a lot of these obsessive thoughts that aren't based in anything at all. So if you have the Rahu Moon conjunction in your chart, you do have to watch for deceptive or illusionary thoughts as well too. When Rahu comes together with the moon, there's a sense as well that the mother can be very Rahu-like in some way. So Rahu can be overwhelming, success-driven, very successful. The highest manifestation of Rahu is that success on the material plane. So they can have a very successful mother. They can have a mother who really did well in her line of work, or she just like kind of lived up to this higher energy in her lifetime, and maybe that person feels like they can't always live up to the mother in some way as well too. Can cause overbearing issues with the mother. Maybe the mother's too there in their life, or there's some energy where it's just a lot. Energetically, that's also Rahu Moon. Rahu is a lot. Energetically, it's this sort of intense energy, right? Ketu is the void. Rahu is the opposite of the void. Rahu is something that's very much present and can be overwhelming or overbearing in some sense as well too. I've noticed with the Rahu Moon conjunction, people are very much creative and interesting in the way that they think. So, the highest manifestation again of Rahu Moon would be someone inventing things and being very creative and very much interested in new innovative ways of doing things in the world. Rahu also rules technology. So when people have Rahu moon, they can have some interesting connection to technology. Perhaps they work well with technology. They can, do some sort of business endeavors or work specifically within technology as well too, because that's what rules Rahu. You'll find that Rahu moon people are really outside of the box in their thinking, right? They're not going to be thinking in the normal way because Rahu is so eccentric, Rahu is so forward, future projecting, right? So they're always thinking of the next thing. You'll find that Rahu moon people can be very eccentric, very interesting, very fun to talk to. They say that like Rahu moon people kind of attract other Rahu-like people, so they'll be really interested in like interesting people that are more, higher minded, they're more mystical, they're more forward thinking, they're more Rahuvian in the way that they process or understand things as well too. Rahu Moon is a great conjunction for creativity and, mysticism. And so you'll find a lot of mystics and psychics will have a Rahu Moon conjunction because they can reach those higher states. But what you really want to watch with the Rahu Moon is that these predictions and these intuitions are based in reality and they're not just going off on this whim, right? Because Rahu Moon can feel like it's sort of very much in the ethers sometimes that it's hard to always ground those thought patterns or those energies as well too. So trying to stay grounded with Rahu Moon and not get like caught up in all these illusions and delusions and deceptions. Rahu Moon is also a conjunction where people are very sensitive to what's around them. So if someone is a Rahu Moon native and someone comes into their life and starts telling them all these crazy ideas and did you know about this? And did you know this? And oh my God, did you hear about this? Rahu moon people are very prone to falling into those delusions and getting sort of swept away into those more illusionary energies with Rahu moon. Remember, guys, Rahu is deceptive, it's illusionary. Okay. Rahu is getting kind of lost and swept up in things. So when people have the Rahu Moon conjunction, they have to be very careful of who they allow into their life and into their energy. I can't even tell you guys how many times when I started my business, I had all these people that would come into my life and tell me all these crazy things and crazy ideas. And, it, it's a story for another time, but I would have a lot of gurus or guides or teachers or people that seemed like they were higher up and they would tell me all these things. And it would always come to a point where I'd be like, this feels like it's not quite right, right? It's like you have to be cautious of the people you're letting in and listening to with that Rahu Moon conjunction because you can attract these more grandiose people that have all these ideas about things that they want to kind of project into your reality as well too. I've seen it time and time again with the Rahu Moon conjunction. So being careful of what's around you because Rahu Moon is very absorbent of the energy around you. So looking for people that are more stable, people that are coming in with good intentions with that Rahu moon as well too. The main thing you want to watch with this conjunction or this planetary energy is, being cautious and weary of deceptions and fears and phobias and thinking that gets very Rahuvian like, right? So if the moon in Rahu is in a darker place, prone to a lot of addictions and obsessions and fears and phobias and oh my God, what if this happens? And I just have a feeling this is going to happen, but it's, not always based in truth or reality. So the highest manifestation is working with that intuitive psychic energy, but keeping it grounded in the real world. Using your, eccentric, forward-moving energy to come up with really creative or interesting, innovative ideas, right? Because Rahu Moon people are very innovative, very inventive. The highest manifestation of working with this energy would be creating, inventing, using your energy to push society forward in some way, because Rahu is the future, right? And using all those creative ideas to actually build something on the material and not just get so lost in the ethers as well. And I want to emphasize this again because I find it to be such an important part of this planetary energy and conjunction is looking out for those people that come into your life and tell you all these crazy ideas and try to kind of sweep you up into it, right? That's what Rahu Moon people are very prone to getting caught up and wrapped up in is delusions and illusions. And then it starts, clouding the judgment. Rahu Moon people can have very cloudy, unclear judgment when they don't know how to work with that Rahu Moon energy. All right. Especially if it's in like the sixth house or the eighth house or the 12th house. If it's in a Moshka house, they'll especially get wrapped up in kind of like spiritual delusions as well too. All right, so this is the energy of the Rahu Moon conjunction or trine. Remember, when something aspects 5 to 9 houses over with Rahu or Ketu, it's almost like those planets are in a conjunction. That's how I learned to do Vedic astrology, and I've found it works every single time because it will make that conjunction in the D9 Navamsha. All right, so let me know down below if you guys have Rahu Moon, how you've sort of worked with this energy, how you feel with this conjunction. I have it, so I know it very well. And I find that when you work with Rahu Moon well, it can just change your life just to know about this energy in your life. All right, I hope you guys have such a blessed, beautiful day. Let me know down below some planetary conjunctions or energies that you want me to go into, because this will be a new series where we're talking about how the planets affect each other when they come together in the birth chart. All right, have a great day, guys.